we get answers for you. Today, our state began Pfizer vaccinations for people as young as 12.
I'll be a lot less worried about just going anywhere, really.
The community comes together to remember the 6 lives lost in a weekend shooting in Colorado Springs.
No one deserves to have a loved one taken through an act of violence. No one.
State lawmakers want to hold insurance companies accountable and prevent them from setting rates based on gender or race.
There might be hidden patterns in the algorithm that are just inherently unfair to some subsets of the population.
Plus, plans are in place to permanently honor fallen Boulder police officer Eric TALLEY.
Good Thursday evening, and thank you for watching Denver 7 News on Local 3. I'm Jessica Porter. The CDC released new guidelines today on what fully vaccinated Americans can do. If you are fully vaccinated, you can stop wearing masks outdoors, in crowds, and in most indoor settings. The main exceptions to these guidelines are crowded indoor settings like buses, planes, and hospitals. President Biden called it a great day in America. He says we should all respect each other's wishes, especially if people want to still wear masks in public places.
Some may say, just feel more comfortable. Continue to wear a mask. They may feel that way. So if you're someone with a mask, you see them, please treat them with kindness and respect.
Colorado remains with just a handful of states with a mask mandate still in effect. Currently, it says masks are optional if 80% of people inside a space are vaccinated. Local health departments and the governor's office say an update based on the new CDC guidance is coming. Denver7's CB Cotton spoke with local business owners who say this change has been a long time coming.
Every cup that Denise Durrani prepares. She's made coffee and a place for people to find community.
It's just a place where you can either work, study, chat, make friends.
But the years she's spent perfecting a communal coffee space.
Well, we were in Capitol Hill for almost 13 years.
Couldn't have prepared her for when that space would turn empty.
We thought it was only going to be for a couple weeks or a month, and we were like, oh God, and then it ended up being, almost the whole year.
A year of COVID-19 public health orders that closed the doors of her and her sister's coffee shop, Gypsy House Cafe, more than once.
We were just pretty much thinking about what we were going to do with our life because we didn't think we were going to make it.
But her small business survived, and she sees a chance for it to thrive on the horizon.
Oh, I'm so thrilled, and I'm glad the time has come.
On Thursday, the CDC announced that anyone fully vaccinated can participate in indoor or outdoor activities, large or small, without wearing a mask or social distancing. But President Biden says after a year of hard work and sacrifice, there's still one rule.
Get vaccinated or wear a mask until you do.
People can see each other's faces and, not have that shield.
But what the CDC update means for Coloradans, not yet clear. Mask wearing in specific indoor settings is supposed to continue until next month, according to the governor's current statewide order. But a glimmer of hope. Late Thursday, Governor Jared Polis said, "We will be updating our mask order to follow CDC guidance shortly." As for when, that's still not clear, and several Denver Metro Health Departments tell Denver7 they're waiting for the governor to update local mask-wearing guidance. For now, Durrani's hoping for a future with fewer restrictions and more community.
I think, being free to come in here without a mask just will make people feel comfortable just being in public.
CB Cotton, Denver7.
No matter what the governor and state health department decide, private companies can still make their own rules and require you to wear a mask. This goes for both employees and customers. Denver7 anchor Ann Trujillo spoke with a lawyer to learn more about the legality of businesses still requiring things like masks.
And businesses are allowed to mandate rules widely, right? Not just in the context of COVID-19, so long as they're not unlawful rules. So the classic example is you can't, refuse service to someone based on the color of their skin or their sex or because they have a disability, et cetera. But those are kind of exceptions.
She says just like businesses having a no shirt, no shoes, no service policy, the same could happen with masks. A growing number of metro counties are moving to level clear in the coming days, and that allows offices, restaurants, and indoor businesses to open with 100% capacity and no other additional requirements. Jeffco, Broomfield, Tri-County Health, Boulder County, and Denver all plan to move back restrictions this weekend. Every teenager in the U.S. can now get the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine. Today, Colorado providers started administering the vaccine. Many of the teens and parents we spoke with who got their shots today were thrilled. They're looking forward to their summer plans and hopefully a normal school year beginning this fall.
I'm excited to be able to have the vaccine because I'm working at a summer camp this summer, so it'll be nice to be fully vaccinated.
It's a lot easier to get the COVID-19 vaccine in Colorado right now. Many places no longer require an appointment, and you can walk right in. Just make sure you accompany your child, as they can't get the vaccine without you. We understand how difficult it can be to navigate the subject of vaccines. Denver7 put together an in-depth report to help answer some of your questions. We also have a look at how clinical trials are going for other vaccines in children. Our extended coverage is available right now on Denver7 Plus. That's our free app for your Roku, Apple TV, or Amazon Fire. It's always on, even when other newscasts aren't. Tonight, the Colorado Springs community gathered to honor the 6 lives lost in a mass shooting over the weekend. These are the victims that lost their lives Saturday night. Mothers of murdered youth helped organize tonight's vigil. They say their organization works to help.
Our community will come together regardless of the colors of our skin or our religious backgrounds or our political parties, that we can come together as a community and love one another just because we're human.
The shooting happened at a birthday party. Children were in the home during the shooting, but none of them were hurt. Lawmakers want insurance companies to limit what data they use to determine whether someone is or isn't a risk. History of causing car crashes? Well, that's fine. Color of your skin? Not okay. Denver7 political reporter Megan Lopez has more.
As soon as you go shopping for insurance, companies go shopping for your data to try to determine the risk you pose.
There could be up to 80 risk factors that are evaluated.
Data like your age or gender, your driving record, or maybe some unobvious things.
There has been a problem with some insurance companies even collect information on your media usage habits to see if you've switched your cable provider.
Data to determine you. A practice some worry is discriminatory, like using your credit score for car insurance.
We found that drivers in Colorado who had poor credit were actually being charged about $1,100 more than somebody with a driving under the influence conviction.
In a year of social justice, new questions about whether using all that data is fair.
There might be hidden patterns in the algorithm that are just inherently unfair to some subsets of the population. And companies are going to have to become more transparent.
Senate Bill 169 would prohibit insurance companies from using data of protected classes like race or gender to set rates.
We have evidence to prove that there is discrimination in this area.
That's Senator Janet Buckner, the bill's co-sponsor.
Some of this could be unintentional. So if it is unintentional, let's fix it.
She found that the same 35-year-old man living in Park Hill, a majority black community, would pay hundreds of dollars more a year in car insurance than if he lived in Aspen or Boulder.
Why is there such a big difference? And one of my biggest concerns is the fact that, are we subsidizing other zip codes?
Insurance companies say this bill could have unintended consequences.
We might be forced to charge an individual more or less based, and it's no longer based upon their risk.
For example, young female drivers pose a lower risk driving than teenage men, but if gender can no longer be a factor,
we could see a young female driver maybe having to pay more under Senate Bill 169.
So they say this bill is too quick and too broad, and they want to see it reworked. Every day, insurance companies use data to determine who you are. With this bill, companies might have to rethink the data they use. Megan Lopez, Denver7.
A Boulder post office could soon be renamed after Officer Eric Talley. Representative Joe Neguse introduced a bill in the House of Representatives today. It would designate the post office on 15th Street as the Officer Eric H. Talley Post Office Building. Talley was killed in the King Soopers mass shooting back in March. All 7 House reps from Colorado support the bill. A plaque dedicated to former Aurora Mayor Steve Hogan was unveiled today. It's at the entrance to the Aurora Highlands community, a mixed-use development that was a pet project of the late mayor. Hogan died in 2018 from cancer. He began his political career in 1974 as a member of the Aurora City Council. He then served as mayor from 2011 until his death.
I don't know what his problem was, but he brought up her sexuality.
A Colorado mother says her daughter was suspended from a basketball team for being gay. Her coach says it stems from an allegation she was smoking pot in a hotel room.
I gave them my bags, let them check everything. There was nothing there.
Tonight, what the coach has to say about the incident.
Nice warm day on the way again tomorrow, but also an increased chance of thunderstorms.
And coming up later, a surge in bike sales during the pandemic has now put a strain on bike parts.
The bicycle industry was toilet papered, so everyone snatched up all the inexpensive bikes.